Good Wednesday, Buck fans. Welcome to another episode of Bucs Report, the aftermath 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. Now, look, do not fret. It's only week 4 now. We still got a lot of football left. So we'll break down the Broncos game, but we're going to look forward to the Eagles game. We're going to talk about certain plays, certain coaching. So don't worry. Get your damn beer, get your popcorn, get your cannons, and let's fire them bitches tonight. Let's get ready for the aftermath. Hello. What's up, Buck fans? Welcome to another episode again of the Aftermath. Yeah, one of your hosts, AJ Turnup. We got Coach Slick in the house, aka the British guy who's always fly. How you guys doing? I know that it's the middle of the week. Of course, we are still dumbfounded, distraught, just pissed off about the Broncos game. But I'm here to tell you, let that shit go. It's week 3. Yeah, you were minus some starters. We learned, we got punched in the mouth early. If anything, that's the best thing that can have happened to the Bucs. Now they can regroup and we're getting pieces back. So it's only week 4. So guys, I hope just calm down. This is football. You didn't really think we were going 17-0. I hope not. I know you didn't, but we just didn't expect to lose to a Broncos team. But this is what happens when you're unprepared. And this is why Coach Slick and I, we're gonna break that down. We're gonna give you, because we know a lot of Buck fans, Slick, out there is like, why? What happened? Why? And I'm gonna give you guys a nugget. It was not a trap game. I'll break it down why. Don't listen to other assholes out there. They're just saying shit just because they want to be right. No, this was not a trap game. I'm gonna give you guys the real football insight. As someone who coached as well, I can tell you it wasn't a trap game. It is what Slick and I always talk about. Coaching matters. So, Slick, how did you feel after watching that game? I'll let you get it off, because this is the current coach right here that knows his shit. Sandwell Steelers coach right here, guys. Let's show some respect and learn something today. I learn every day with this man. So, Slick, what did you see, bro?
The biggest thing for us is we couldn't stop. We weren't consistent in tackling. If this team tackles at least 50% better than they did, and I'm saying make every tackle, because there's going to be missed tackle. It's part of the game. But if we were just more consistent, because we got bodies to tackles, we got bodies to tackle, we got bodies to ball carriers. We just didn't put them on the fucking ground, and they were able to get first downs. And this is how they were able to articulate the ball up the field and get into positions where they were scoring field, especially in the second half. We held them to 2 field goals. That if tackling actually made a fucking difference, those field goals don't exist. They got off to a hot start. Sometimes that happens with Bowles. He does have a bit of a tendency to feel out his opponent. If he can't figure them out quick enough, it might take a minute. It might take a drive. It might take 2 drives. But he will figure it out. Second half come, the adjustments come in. They give up 6 points. At the end of the day, the defense figured it out. What we didn't see was the offense figuring it out, and that was, for me, the biggest bugaboo. Both had their role to play. I'm not going to point one finger at one. We shouldn't be giving up 26 points, but it's not astronomical pointage. We also shouldn't be fucking scoring 7 points a game. You're not going to win with that model, right? It doesn't work. So, do you want me to give you my best player on offense and best player on defense, or do you want to?
Yes, please.
Okay. Zion McCullum was the best player on the Buccaneers field by a country mile on defense.
Yes.
On offense, Bucky Irvin keeps making waves, and it is getting infectious. And I think Rachaad White I don't think he's gone. I don't think it happens this week. But I think with the consistency we've seen with Bucky from week 1 to week 3, they may want to make I think what you'll find is he'll start, but if he struggles, the lion's share of the load will start going to Bucky, and he'll get drips and drabs, and it will flip. And then maybe the next game, that's when you'll see a real change.
Yes, sir. You are right. Guys, let's just start on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to say Bowles did adjust, but it's like this. It's that person that reads a script slick that it's flawed already. You know what's going to happen already, and you're trying to tell them, we know what's going to happen at the end of this already. You got to change it up. You got to spice it up. No, I want to fill it out. You can't do that. And this was literally the theme of the entire game. This right here. You see this bullshit? Too much space. All they did, Sean Payton came into this game with saying, we don't have to beat them necessarily deep. We can dink and dunk them to death and tire out their defense. They don't have a Vita Vea. They don't have a Cansey. So they won't have a pass rush. So Bowles, unfortunately, got stubborn in his own ways and played this type of position. And what happened? They gassed our defense. They gassed them the fuck out. That's another reason. I think, yes, piss poor tackling was there, but also they just let them methodically march down the field and wear our defense out. We all know that's Bowles' weakness. So that's another thing. The defense did clamp down, but at the point that they finally got it together, to what Slick said, the offense didn't come around at all. Now, there are so many reasons. This is why having a complete offensive line is imperative. Gedeke is he's one of the MVP players of this line. He had school. I hope school never starts for the Bucs again, ever. He was awful, but Cohen failed that day because he didn't work around it. It was one of the big things that Slick, you can attest to this. We've always said this. We love Baker because he's a good improviser. He's good on rollouts. He's good at making passes on the run. What we saw is Cohen was trying to keep Baker in the pocket, and it wasn't working. There should have been more rollouts to the opposite side where Wirfs is. There should have been more creative plays, more crossing routes. All I saw was Canales shit, Slick. People were just running verticals to get the plays to develop, and it never did because the offense was out of whack. Cohen had a bad day, and that happens. We're still learning, and I still have my trust in both coaches, but they were both simply out-coached, and the players were outplayed. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, when you really look at it, one of the biggest issues were a lot of our yardage and I suppose what you would call it our 3-point conversions were basically off Baker's feet. You know, a lot of the time that we made big plays were because of Baker's feet. We did have moments where we kind of came alive, and obviously we started to roll the dice a bit more.
Yes,
but we were and going for it on fourth down, and you know when you go on fourth down, there is that risk. There is that risk, and you come up short, and it makes you more angry because you come away with nothing.
yes.
And as time goes by, you start looking at that clock, and that clock's whittling down your mind. I really don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with. I don't want to have to deal with this. Can't we just take the points? Yeah, but they have to go for it because you know, for the sake of it, if the Buccaneers kick the points that are available to them, they'd still lose. In all fairness, let's be honest, it'd have been a 13 to fucking 26 game.
Yes,
a little bit more respectable on the scoreboard, but realistically, you're not trying to win the game by kicking field goals. You're just trying to dress up the scoreboard so, "Mummy, you look good for the school photos." You know,
exactly.
you're not trying to kick down the fucking door and say, "I own the fucking photos."
No, you were just there to save face. And another thing is, when you're down 2 possessions, there's no need to try to play conservative. At that point, for me, I'd ball the fuck out. You should have been blitzing Bo Nix. If anything, if Bowles sometimes start off with the aggression early, that's why I agree with what Slick is saying, guys. Slick is 100% right. Bowles likes to test people out, but sometimes that test comes at a price. You're basically banking on your offense to get it right, like we used to in the Arians days. Bowles could fuck up sometimes because the offense would back it up. And I honestly think Christopher Cole is on something. Shout out to you, Christopher. Bowles panicked when they gave up deep balls and started playing 10, 15 yards. I agree 100%. When McCullum got beat one time and Jamel Dean got beat, you're right. Anytime Bowles gets beat one time, and man, he goes, okay, we're going back to the safe zone. But you can't do that all the time because you said it, Slick. McCollum was by far the best. I still owe Bowles an apology. You couldn't have told me by this week that, hey, McCollum's going to be your best corner. Dean had a shitty day, and he was awful. And even his tackling in this game was surprisingly trash. So at this point, you're right. The coaching, it was terrible. But this is where Bowles has got to understand. You have to go off script sometime. Tyke, you can't worry about these guys. Tyke is going to improve. Izzy will improve. You see, one of the most dumbfounding parts of the game is when Nelson tried to tackle the running back and he couldn't get to him. And then KJ Britt missed because he was at this point. KJ Britt's speed is very sus and it's becoming a liability, in my opinion. But
that's because he's a downhill thumper. He's not a sideline to sideline guy. That's the issue. That's the issue with someone like him. Yes. Devin White could play sideline to sideline because he had the speed, but he played more he played more in the thumper mold. Levante David is that sideline to sideline guy, and I think that's what Savossier Dennis is. The difference is, I imagine 9 times out of 10, and I'm talking about tackle practice here. I'm not talking about in the game because you can argue in the game however you want. But in practice, I imagine KJ Britt has been the safer set of arms to got the guy down. And that's probably why they tend to trust him a little bit more. But as players do, as we always found out with Rachaad White, he's carrying the ball. He's not getting the yardage that his boy is. And Bucky Irvin's kind of slowly, you know when you walk in and you got a kid. I don't know if you've ever had someone walk behind you and you can feel they accidentally hit the back of your foot.
Yes.
That's exactly how Rachaad White feels right now. He's got that little kid right behind him who's like stepping on his shoes. He's like, I can't even get going. And then at some point, that kid's going to go past him. And he should know this because he did it to Ronald Jones.
Yes, he did. And I'm glad where you say that. But I told people this. Rachaad White being a backup might actually be a better suit for the Bucs and a blessing disguise for Rachaad. We have to be real Buck fans, and I'm going to be real Slick. As someone who played running back and who loves it, Bucky has the explosiveness. He knows how to hit the holes. More importantly, he knows how to fall forward. Rachaad does not do that. But if I am Rachaad, don't fret. We got something for you. You know why? We can put you in as a second down back because you're still a dual threat. Defenses still have to honor that you could possibly run. That's where the play action would really benefit Baker, because now at this point, you can have Rachaad White roll out and dump it off there. You are right, 100% Slick. I honestly think within the next 3 to 4 weeks, and God forbid, no, I'll say this, hot take right here, Slick. If Bucky Irvin back-to-back, when we play the Eagles and Falcons, if he gets 100 yards rushing on the ground in back-to-back games or somewhere in that realm, Rachaad White loses the starting position. Why? Because you know why? That means the Bucs win those games, because now at that point, all the Bucs need is a consistent run game, and now you can't stop the passing. So best believe you're right. Bucky is that guy.
Let's look at it from a real perspective. Bucky Irvin got 9 carries to Rachaad White 6. So you can see it's tipping in the wrong way. And Rachaad White started that game. So it shows that faith is starting to fall apart to a degree. Yes. 9 carries for 70 yards, 7.8 on a 7.8 average, which is really freaking good, to be honest. Yeah. Rachaad White, 6 carries, 17 yards, 2.8 on the day. It's not good enough. And I think Rachaad White, he's that guy you could toss plays, stretch plays, where you're kind of using the width of the field. He's got that burst of speed.
Yes.
And he's quick.
Yes.
You can catch, and he's every down back except for you don't really want to run in between the tackles. He's not your AB guy. He's your C and D gap guy, realistically. Bucky, I would say, I haven't seen much of him from the outside, but he can hit a hole pretty well, and I've seen a bit of outside work from him. I think both of them could be a really good. I think they're a really good combo. I think it's finding the right combo per game. There might be games where you got a team's lateral speed is so weak, or their way of their contain is weak. That might be the day that Rashad White gets the most carries. And then you got a team. Then you got a team that's a bit light in the middle, or their linebackers can't come down and play so well because they don't have the downhill thumper, or they don't have a guy who can play the run as well, and their middle of their defense is a little bit suspect. That's when you bring in the Bucky Irvin, and he's going to eat. I think the Buccaneers got to find that combination, let them both get some plays in, get a drive in, get a bit of a taste for it, and then, as we always say, go with the hot hand, go who's working, but still let that other guy get a taste for it, because you never know when someone's going to break something big. Leonard Fournette, for us, when he wasn't the starter, he just kept on knocking on the door. He just kept knocking on the door. We just give him a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here. It was still it was still Ronald Jones's show, and then all of a sudden, he would come alive with a really big run that Rojo couldn't get.
Yeah, Rojo couldn't do it. I feel what you're saying, and it also makes you think more about just the run. We used to always blame the line. Now at this point, we can come to the conclusion that it's a bit of both. It's not just the line; it was also Rashad's decisions when it came to hitting that hole. So now it is.
He does tend to dance when he's looking for a hole.
Yes,
and I think there comes a point where, when I see a running back dancing between holds, or where they stop and they stutter, I know that they're trying to be patient. And obviously, they don't have an internal clock in their head just saying, go, 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 right? And I think sometimes they get caught up trying to make a bigger play, thinking if they just stay patient, the bigger hole will come. And it never does. And then they get caught flat-footed. They get caught not moving. And if they're lucky, they might be able to reel off a yard, or it stays where they've got the ball. Whereas if you've got someone who's going to go, you know what, I'm going to take it up, and I'm going to go with the best lane possible, and I'm going to get what I can out of that lane, then you're setting yourself up for success. Waiting for something to happen in the running back position, sometimes you'll break off a big one because someone will make a mistake, or your blocker gets the right block, and then all of a sudden you see your blocker's ass turning the other way, and like, there I'm going.
Yeah,
he's got it.
That's a very rare situation, and also you have to have the line to do so. Like, do you remember Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers? They had the line to where he was able to be patient and make those cuts. That's not how it is yet. We're still
what happened when he went to the Jets?
Yep, exactly.
He bounced around. Sadly, he bounced around the league and never could catch it. He was considered the best running back in football at one point.
Facts, and that's why I tell people that shit. Like we've always talked about being a running back. It's a hard life because it's a short-lived thing. Because if you take a lot of brunt force, it can wear you out. But that's why we love the Jamal Lewis's and Bettis's of the world, because you just said it's like, as a running back, sometimes you have to make the hole. You can't wait for it. That's what Bucky's doing. That's why he's making these big runs, because they're not anticipating him to do that. So Bucky just takes off and he makes a way. That's why he has the highlights. And we have yet to see anything from Rashad, but maybe one run, and it's a pass catch. So at this point, another thing I want to mention now, Slick, get your coaching hat on. Well, you got it already. I got my offensive coordinator in mind right now. I got some plays out here for you that if they do this, I honestly do think if the Bucs want to run, I want them to go back to the old school I formation. Here you go. Now, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. Here we go. This is the I formation. What I would do to switch it up, I'd put both backs in. Now you can devise it whatever you want. Anyway, this is what I think will confuse the offense. A defense. You put both of them in. Now you don't know whether they're going to run, and you can switch this either way you want. But either way, this play action will be nice. I think Otten should be best running vertical instead of east and west. That's not his forte. Evans, with this playbook right here, Slick, it's not that many defenses out there that will be able to handle both at the same time. Now, what say you? Because I want your full opinion.
I'd split the backs. I'd go split back rather than I myself. Because of the type of player that they both are, none of them's really. I don't think White would play well as a fullback. I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's ever going to run lead very well. I'm not saying he can't. I just don't think he would. I'd split them. I'd split them out. Side far on each side.
What about?
I like the concept though, because you can do so much more with it. Because you don't know who's going. Because they're both number ones. Well, not right now, but they will be. You don't know who the running threat is, and that's what makes them dangerous. Because you can play with the counter, you can and you can still lead off it as well. You can still lead with it. You can put your counter game in there. You've got your stretch plays. You've got your toss outs. There's so much more creativity, I find, if you've split the backs out, because both of them are a run threat, and you've got to take them at that.
Yes, and play action situations.
So I love the idea of two. I love the idea of two backs.
Yes, and with one situation, I think because White right now is a good pass blocker, you could do a play action and say, okay, White, I want you to go fake and you go in for the block. Irvin, I want you to go out for the pass if it's open, if they bite. Or Evans or Otten. Again, I want Otten to be more vertical. I don't like him running side to side. That's not his forte, because we saw in Denver, they stripped him because he's not a good East and West.
Of all the plays that went down, I actually look at his and I felt so bad for him because he was tucking that ball in. It was just a really good hit. It was just such a good hit because he just got it to the gut and you could see he's about to tuck it, but he got hit right in the arm that jarred it up. And it's unfortunate, but it happens in football, man.
Yeah,
I do not put that fumble on him. I think nine times out of 10, most players would have fumbled that because it was the right hit at the right time. A player who's just trying to maintain control of that ball, so I don't have a problem with it. I don't think he cost us. I don't look at it from that perspective myself.
Well, I want to go to another play because we're talking about the offense's shortcomings. Sometimes less is more. I think they were trying to design plays where it just took too long to develop, like this one as an example. For this one, this is one of my favorite plays, and I want you to dissect as much as you can. This is what I did out here, Buck fans. This is how I was configuring it. The first option is Rachaad White. The second will be Godwin, but here's why priority number one goes to Godwin. McMillan's right here. You take him to run straight. The corner has to run with him. The rest of these guys are rushing. Then the safety is all the way out here. You can have Rachaad catch this, and we know he makes things happen in open field. He can come out this way and get that first down right there. Or on this side, Evans runs out this way. It takes a corner or a safety to run with him, and Godwin might have that split moment where he can get a pass up the middle. But either way, my priority would be Rachaad White on a short pass, especially if McMillan clears out this area, because these guys on this down were rushing the passer. Now, that's just my opinion. That's how I think this play should have worked. I think when this was the interception, it took too long to develop. That's just me. Like, what do you say?
I like the play. I don't think you can have Rachaad White as the first choice, because if I'm a DB or a nickel, my first thing is going to watch you look at the running back. So I've got him dead to rights. I know I've got to go and cover the flats. You need to look away from Rachaad White and have him as your second, because that's why they used his dump offs. They'd used his dump offs because you're not looking at them. So when you do look at them, it's wide open because they've all gained depth. Whereas if you look at him straight away, they're going to go straight to the flats. So in this case, you kind of really want to be looking at the wide out that's in front of him and look at him really hard, or even look away. So maybe look at the in-break, and route on the other side first, and then have that as and then go to, is it McMillan at the top?
Yes, that's McMillan at the top.
McMillan at the top, and then go to your dump off. Like really kind of sell that you're trying to go deep before you go and hit this guy. He's your number one, but you're not looking at him like your number one. You're going to go to Rachaad, but you're not going to show it that you're going to go to him, because the moment you look over him, if you look down, there's two guys. I don't know how they set up their defense in particular, but if I'm the other guy, I'm being underneath this, or I'm communicating to the safety if I'm the corner and saying, I will play under this, you play over the top of it, and I'll just carry. And if he throws it to thingy, I'll rally down and take him out. If not, because you've got a corner, then you've got a nickel on the side, and a nickel could just cover the flats, which kind of takes him out. I like the play design. I would just look away from looking at Rashad White straight away because you're just triggering it.
I like that. So let's say if Evans were to just run a go route, do you think that he would take two defenders with him and Godwin would have that moment of getting that open space, if you had to say?
I wouldn't go route. Do you know what I would do? I'd corner it. Deep corner.
Oh, so bam.
Mainly because you're pulling them away as well. So rather than just going vertical, they're drifting to the other side.
Gotcha.
When you're pulling them to the other side of the field, not just with depth. Because they could still rally down, right? And that's fine. For a first down, if you want to try and make more out of it, you want to try and clear as many people out. But what you could do, and this will make it even sexier, is that whatever you could have a choice route for Chris Godwin, and if he sees the double coverage, he runs that bit deeper. So rather it being, have you got him running a slant here?
Yeah, a slant in the right.
I would say the choice route here would be if no one moves or just the corner moves, then he's playing the slant. But if the safety moves with it, post that shit.
I like that. See, guys, I like how we're breaking down these plays. This is how we're just saying football 101. But we both agree the main objective is to take away from moving the defenders away. That is priority. And that's why I do think that they had plays that took too long to develop. Like what pissed me off is this fourth down play right here. This is how I would have called it. This one, I said that this receiver should go out, like you said, to move the defenders. And if they move in this space, Rashad White could either stay for a moment and block and then roll out either this way or roll in the middle.
Just get him to leak out.
Yep. And then Godwin, it was the perfect play to go to him, but it was too soon. You can tell that Godwin was anticipating it too soon. If they give him just another second, he would have beaten them. And of course, this is a straight go route as well, because this is Evans. You might get lucky, but
you might get lucky because that's a hard trek. That is,
yes. Yeah. So my options were Godwin first, then Rashad, and then Evans. But how would you do it, Coach?
Let me add my little 2 cents worth here.
Yes, please.
Mike Evans with the go, but I'm going to go with a corner route from Chris to take advantage of that safety not moving.
Okay.
So he's going to be running, and then he's going to be hitting the sideline around about where the 35 is.
Okay.
And he's just going to hit it as hard as he can. Well, Mike will carry on probably a go route or a fade. So he fades in, so it kind of pulls that safety away.
Yeah.
So he'll be drifting as he gets to about top speed around about the 35. He's going to start drifting infield, not massively infield. He's not going to cut infield. He's drifting infield, which gives that safety. He's got to think of where that ball's going to go. And if Chris Godwin's running a corner here, corner is one of my favorite routes. I think it's really hard to defend. It's also one of the hardest to throw, but I think that they're just a real pain in the ass to defend. I always call them a reverse slant. Technically, the reverse post, but
yeah. Well, see, there you go. That's why I do think that if you're going to do fourth down situations, but to me, though, that blanket is Rashad, because if this receiver goes out, he's going to take somebody with him. More than likely, that gives Rashad, if you give him space. Now, this is just me. If you give him space, he can make someone miss. That's why I always believe in you got to have one receiver that you can trust, that's your blanket guy. Okay, if it all goes to shit in my other progressions, you're right there because I need you for that. I just think that the Bucs offense, they were not in rhythm, of course, but I told people this is why your line is essential. If they all had a bad day, especially on the right side. If you go back and watch it, you can see plenty of times Mock had a bad day, but also Mock was trying to help out school, and it just made the defense, it just made the offensive line collapse. Shit. The person who
Once
I
you're doing
think who
something,
had the
once you're
best day
trying to
on
do
the
someone
right,
else's job, your job becomes harder to do.
yep. And I think
Don't do
Bratterson
anyone else's job. I remember once a player said to me, "We have a coverage call. We have two coverage calls, and in one of the coverage checks, the safety goes deep, and the corner goes. The corner goes and plays the flat. In the revolt, we have a reverse version of that. It's a variant of cover three, where the safety goes deep. The corner goes deep, and the safety comes down. And this is how we can poach the ball, because if they see the safety bail in, they'll go, "Oh, okay, I'm going to throw it to him on a hitch." And no, the safety appears at an angle, and it's a 6. And what used to happen is if one of them didn't hear the call, or didn't notice the call, or didn't understand the call, or didn't know their fucking playbook,
Right.
we'd have two guys stood in the fucking flats, and this guy streaking downfield, and me very, very angry. I remember turning around and going, "Well, what happened there, guys?" And they were like, and it was the backup safety said to me, "Well, I saw him going to play the flats, and it was his turn to play. I was like, yeah, but what was the play call?" And he was like, "Well, it was steal." I was like, "Right. So what happened to the steal?" He went, I played the deep ball." And I went, "So why didn't you play the deep ball?" "Well, this corner looked like he was going to go deep." And I said, "If the corner goes deep and you both go deep, what happens?" And he went, "No, they complete a short pass." And I went, "And you rally down and tackle it. But if I got both of you fucking sitting in the flats, what are they going to do? They're scoring a fucking touchdown." All right. Secondly, if he's in the wrong fucking place, I'll fucking tell him. I don't need you to try and do his job for him, because that's what happened. You both went wrong. You're both wrong. But if you stay right, at least you can turn around and go, "Well, I was right and he was wrong."
That's right. That's right. And you
And if
never know.
worst case scenario, you both go deep, you rally down, you get a bit of a tongue lashing from me because you fucked up, but you didn't cost me a fucking touchdown.
That's right. And also, you being in the right position, you might be able to make up for that person's fuck up, because they might go your way and you're in the right position. You made something happen. I think that's what happened. You could see Mock just had a bad game in general, but half of that was trying to help school. Schoolie was just fucking god awful. You could see it in Baker's decision making. He was literally, I honestly think that Baker was frustrated because he couldn't maneuver, and Cohen kept putting him in the pocket. That is not what he does. I'm sitting here like, where the fuck are the shotgun plays where he can run and maneuver and make the throws? Cohen, I just think, like Bowles, when they both got punched in the mouth, they went into this kind of mode. Like a boxer, when you get that haymaker, you're dizzy and you're spinning and you're trying to hold to get to the survival
Now you're
round.
just taking body blows.
Now you're taking body blows, and the points are against you, because now you need a knockout to win. And the Bucs couldn't deliver the knockout, and that's why we lost. I can tell you this for me personally. We lost the drive. I said we was going to lose this game when we came out in the opening drive, and we just were flat. I said, yep, we're losing. No, it's plenty of football. I said, no, this offense did not come out with urgency nor creativity. So both of them entering this next game, they got to come out fast and aggressive. You got to throw with the kitchen at everybody. Dude said his best, like, every game is a trap game. So no, this was not a trap game. The Bucs simply just did not come
I think
out.
I think the whole trap game thing is an opinion thing.
Yes.
I don't think there's no such thing as a fucking trap game. The idea of a trap game is that you underestimate your opponent to a point where they beat you, right? That happens all the fucking time. It's not necessarily a trap. It's just a natural thing of, well, we're really good right now. We should be able to beat this team. And yeah, in all fairness, you can turn around and say, were we a little bit overzealous, talk about donuts and points? Yeah, we probably were. But at the end of the day, we're fans of the game. But I know, I mean, you both said this privately when other people were saying, well, it could be a trap game. I said, we're not saying we're going to score 70 points and have a donut. We're saying, if we're the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator, I'm saying to my guys, you want a fucking donut? This is your fucking time. because I did it in a fucking playoff game this year with my own team and went, guys, I've watched tape on these guys. I'm not that impressed. You put in the work that you put in against the fucking big league teams that we played this year, you will come away with a donut. I fucking promise you, if you put the same ounce of work in. And that's what I meant by the donut. I'm not saying, guys, you're just going to fucking whip your dick out, fucking chill out, and we'll walk away with a donut. No. That's still going to be earned. Your 70 points. That only happens if you work for it.
Yes, amen.
You've got to build that 70 points. That 70 points don't just get given to you. You've got to score in the first score on the first possession. That's how that starts. Then you got to score at least 3 in the first first half, 4 in the first half at minimum. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's unlikely they will, but that's when you're coaching a team up. That's what you say to them. You go up against piss ball competition, and guys, you're a better team than these. I expect you to start fucking putting some points on them. At some point, you can't be losing to this dog shit. Yep. It's not fucking possible. And go out there and leave no fucking doubt.
Nope, and you're right. And another thing is, though, as you said, that also means play the fucking playbook. Go out there and be astonishing. Don't be vanilla. Don't play with this team. We said this before, Slick. Hell, if the Bucs could have gone up 17 points in the first quarter, I guarantee you the Broncos would have packed it up and said, all right, guys, now we're just in control damage. Let's see what we got out here. But because you gave them belief, the worst thing you can do is give a bad team belief. Oh, this is it. This is the big team. But now the Bucs have learned you got punched in the mouth. I say this all the time. This was the best fucking time to learn it because it's early. And mind you, you did this without your stars on defense to help you out. So now Bowles can go back to the drawing board and say, okay, this was what is going to work best for the guys that I do have. So for me, I got over it now, and I'm ready to talk about Philly. But Slick, if you got something else you want to say about Denver's game, get it on out.
Okay, so here's one thing. I read in a few comments going like the Buccaneers made Drew Lock look like not Drew Lock, sorry.
Bo Nix.
I remember his name. Bo Nix looked like a fucking Pro Bowler. I'm like, guys, look at the fucking stats. He was not a fucking pro. He wasn't that good. But don't get me wrong, it was a decent showing for a rookie to win his first game. Fair play to him. He was 25 of 36. He got 316 yards, and he got 45 yards on the floor with a touchdown. He didn't throw for no touchdowns. The last I checked, you pay quarterbacks to throw fucking touchdowns, not run them in. No one's winning an all fucking pro or a Pro Bowl on those kind of stats. If you take those stats and you replicate them for an entire 16-game season or 17-game season, he's going to have 17 touchdowns and have a lot of running yards, but not a lot of passing yards.
Amen. And remember, Bucs fans, here's the thing. The Bucs have yet to allow a passing touchdown in 3 games. So don't listen to the media. This Bucs defense is still good. And they're doing that despite having the best safety out, despite having Vita going out, despite having Cansey. Can you imagine when these fucking guys get on the field and they're in football shape and healthy? So please, as Slick just said, calm down. Stop listening to ESPN. Stop listening to Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee, wherever the fuck you listening to. Tell them to shut the hell up because they only watch the highlights, and tell them
that's your
yeah, that's
this team is legit. But I'll tell you what, sometimes the football gods listen. They heard us. We're gonna give Slick and AJ a little bit of humble pie. And we're eating that humble pie. But do you know what? Do you know what he also delivered to us? He delivered us the Saints loss. He did us the Falcons loss. Oh yeah. So the Lord give us, and He can take it away.
He loved us. No, He said, "Look, guys, I know it's going to be bad, but the Saints.
It's not going to be that bad. It's going to be."
I honestly think the Saints is their loss is worse because the expectations for the Saints were higher. They were expected to just smack the shit out of the Eagles, and they didn't. And because both of them were battled to the death, this puts the Bucs in prime position. I want to get onto the Eagles, guys. Again, fuck Denver. It's over. It is. Fuck Sean Payton. He can always eat a bag of dicks. That's just me. Anyway, let's get to the Eagles. The Eagles are in town. They're gonna want revenge. If I'm the Bucs, and for Slick as a player and a coach, I know you can attest to this. When you get beat like that, when you weren't supposed to, you want to come out there fired up and pissed. Not to the point where you're overzealous, but
Just
you
like
want
us
to
and the
make a
Lions,
statement.
baby. Just like us and the Lions.
Yep. And like last season, this is the same team that you lost to that made your season kind of dwindle a little bit. Do you not want this? Remember, this is the team that we lost to last year, and then we started spiraling. If I'm the Bucs, you want to put everything you got into this game because you still, despite the injuries, the Bucs are still, in my opinion, talent-wise, are favored. We know what Jalen Hurts is when he has AJ Brown and he doesn't. Now, can you imagine, Buck fans, what is he going to do if there is no Devontae Smith and no AJ Brown, which more than likely, that's highly likely that's going to happen. If I'm Bowles, Slick, I'm just here to tell you now, this shit got to go out the window. There is no need for you to do that to second, to third, and fourth string receivers. Play man, press, and
I'm
contain
carrying it.
Jalen.
Play, mix it up, play with it, have some fun with it. But here's the thing: the only I'm hoping Cansey and Vea are back, because if you want to stop Saquon Barkley, those two guys need to be back. It's going to be a lot harder to do it without him there, without those two guys there. Antoine Winfield, we could probably. It's not going to be It's not going to be a big deal if we missed him. I'm not saying he's not an impact or anything like that. I'm just saying from a team that's known as for attritionally running the fucking football, and
Yes.
he can play the run. Absolutely can play the run. But it's pivotal to have at least one of those two guys back.
Yes, I
I'd
agree.
probably say Vea more than Cansey. I think there are people who can do a job there. I don't think anybody can put the presence at the moment that Vita Vea puts in that middle.
I agree 100%. And at this point, Vita Vea is still in the most NFL shape. So at this point, if I'm Bowles and you want to be smart with Vea, then limit him to 15 snaps at the most. Between 15 and 20 snaps if you want to do that so you can make sure. But that just also means that's why I'm so heavy on loading the fucking box. Make Jalen Hurts beat you with his arm. He doesn't have his star receivers, so the repertoire ain't going to be there. The chemistry might not be there.
So what, you go one high?
Yeah, one high. Absolutely. Because
Okay.
Devontae David will cover Goddard. I'm not scared of Goddard. I am not. And that's why I told people about the Saints. The
What
Saints,
about putting Pikey Smith on him?
you can do that too. Or you can do that too as
Is he?
well. Is he in shit? Sometimes you might have you probably can put Savasi out there because he has the speed to be side to side, as we just said. You can switch it up, and I would sometimes have Savasi blitz up the middle to see what happens, and have Yaya maybe drop back in coverage. Switch it up. Make Jalen go, what the fuck is happening? Because I guarantee you this, those receivers that he's going to try to trust in, mark my words. I'm saying this right now. It's like if I'm wrong, I am wrong. But if I'm right, you got to give me that digital fist bump. They're going to dink and dunk us to fucking death because Jalen is not going to risk taking deep shots with receivers he does not know unless it's completely open. Jalen Hurts is going to either try to feed the ball to Saquon running the ball or short pass to Saquon because he can catch a short pass to Goddard or short passes to those receivers. He's not going to risk taking too many deep shots. So limit those. Make Jalen have to say, okay, I need you to go deep this one time. Because, and like you said, if Vita is back, now they have to double him. They're going to double him automatically. But this is where I'm calling beep, beep, beep. Hold on. My phone, beep, beep, beep. Hold on. Yaya, JTS, you motherfuckers got to step up. They have to step up. If Yaya or JTS do not step up, Jalen Hurts is just going to run the ball and dink and dunk all fucking game. That's it. That's it. That's the key. Now on the offensive side, now I want to show you a couple of things. Like I love my what's coming up when these shotgun plays. If I am Cohen, you got to start doing shit like this. Splat out. I'm cooking this secondary. So Slick, if they were in cover 2, what would you do?
The cover 2, it actually plays quite easy in the cover 2.
Exactly. McMillan's cooking in that cover 2 right here. You see that? And then Palmer's going to take a safety or a corner, and then Evans is good at those stopping plays. So
no, but your corner only has to play 5 yards off, and they'll play Evans.
Mm-hmm.
Your safety can pick up Palmer. It's not. I wouldn't really call it a cover 2 beater. This is more like a cover 3 beater.
Okay, there you go. Cover 3 beater. Either way, I'm cooking somebody, because here's another thing we forget. Baker, if he runs, he can improvise, and something's gonna be open. Something will be open.
Chris Godwin with Mike Evans.
Okay.
Have another deep route from McMillan, and then have Chris Godwin leak underneath the 2.
Okay, I like that. I was gonna say this as
Maybe throwing a little bit of motion from the running back just to fuck around, just for pure
shits and
misdirection. Yeah, shits and giggles.
I agree, and that's why I say with this. But you know my crossing routes, I got to get a crossing route in there somehow. Godwin, because if the Bucs are going to do things, they have to. What do we always say, Slick? You got to utilize the field not just vertically but horizontally and diagonally. Yep. Cohen has got to get in that bag and mix it up. And we've said this before. Bucky, we fucks with you, Buck. You're the guy now. Rashad, you had 3 years to make it happen.
Yeah, I think he got his last chance. I think, honestly, if he gets outplayed again, a conversation has to be had.
The conversation will be had right then and there. Hey, Rashad, there's nothing wrong with, look, I'm down with you if you number 2. That's how I'm going to say it. I'm down with you, but you number 2. Bucky, I just said this, guys. Slick said, I said this to Slick off the camera. I'm going to say it to you Buck fans right now. If Bucky gets between 80 to 100 yards in back-to-back games, Rachaad White should not be starting anymore, because at that point, that opens up the playbook even more for Cohen.
Bucky Irvin has outplayed Rachaad White in the last 3 games.
Yes, he has.
Has got more yards. So in the first game, he had 9 carries for 62. Rachaad White had 15 carries for 34. Wins. The next game versus the Lions.
Yes.
We've got. I've gone into the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so we got Bucky Irvin, 7 carries for 22 yards. Rachaad White, 10 carries for 18. Loses the battle. Bucky wins. And of course, we know that he won the last game as well. So it's not a good trend.
Not at all. Not a good trend at all. And even by the explosiveness, we can tell when Bucky gets the ball, Bucky falls forward. Hell, Bucky just made a Denver Broncos player miss the entire season for breaking his ACL. That's how good Bucky is. That's how good Bucky is, and that's why the Bucs do need to get some kind of run game going. But Slick, you know what I'm about to say. Use the pass to set up the run. If you can, even a short screen pass is like a fucking run play. If you do that and you get your wide receivers, spread the defense out to the point to where their line and have to go, shit, we have to honor these receivers. The most important thing is, and you know where I'm going with this, you got to feed Mike Evans the rock, and not just one type of route. Get him in the short, intermediate, and deep routes. Maneuver him. Baker needs to go, okay, if they're going to play 7 yards off of you, I'm just going to dunk that shit right there. You pick up a solid 3 to 4 yards, and we're going to move it like that. That they have to get him involved. He needs to be targeted 10 to 12 times, minimum. If not, you're literally just giving away the game, because if he goes off, can you imagine what Godwin can do? Can you imagine what Palmer or McMillan? They got to get these other guys involved, because now everybody knows, okay, our main priority is Evans and Godwin. That means you got to give Palmer and McMillan a chance to step up. That's all I'm saying. That's what I think. That's how we can beat this Eagles team. I'm not really scared of the Eagles because their secondary is always hella suspect. Look at what they made Drake London look like an elite receiver that Monday, that night. So I'm not really scared of their secondary. And even their pass rush isn't that good. But if Gedeke comes back, oh, Slick, I guarantee the Bucs win by at least 10 points. Minimum. Because Gedeke is going. Here's the, you know why I say that? Here's why I say that. Peep this. Baker, if he stays in the pocket, he can read his progressions without looking over his shoulder. If you think about what you said earlier, anytime Baker when we made something happen on third down, it's because Baker had to go, shit, let me get the hell out of here because I know he can't do it. He doesn't have to, and we don't want him to get hurt because I'm not going to lie. When he got hit on that fourth down, I'm like, Lord have mercy. If he gets hurt, we're done. So Gedeke coming back, I honestly think brings confidence. And the funny thing is, Gedeke brings nastiness to this line. He supports mock and helps mock. And like you said, everybody doesn't have to do they only do their own job. They do their damn job. Barton is getting better.
Yeah,
got this. So this is who you got to give it to, guys. I'm going to remind people out there, Slick, this is who makes shit happen.
Mayfield looks left all the way. Single coverage, one-on-one. Oh, what a catch! Mike Evans!
Get back to that shit. Get back to that. So that means, Cohen, when there is a one-on-one and you're in the red zone, there should be no other play dialed up first. Your first priority is to throw to him because then even if it's not complete, now the safeties have to keep an honest eye out there. And that honest eye from that safety might be the 1 second where you can give it to Godwin, McMillan, or Palmer, like in a slant where it's like, oh, shit, I was so busy worried about Evans. I didn't realize this guy's coming in front of me. And by the time I get to him, it's too late. That's what I mean about creativity. That's all I want.
I dig that. And just looking back at Rachaad White and Bucky Irvin on the season,
yes,
the yards per carry or yards per an attempt is 2.1 for Rachaad and it's 6.2 for Bucky. I wouldn't be surprised if the change. This is Rachaad White's last chance.
I agree 100%.
I don't think the Buccaneers want to throw it all on Bucky just yet, which is why I think he's had some saving grace time because he is a rookie.
Yes.
But there's going to come a point in time where they go, we're going to just have to go with the hot hand at this point.
Yes, and we're going to have to because, one, it's pivotal to our offense as well. We've all said this, and I've said this. If they can be average at running, this passing offense will be damn near unstoppable.
How different do the Buccaneers look if they decided to go with Bucky Irvin running the football from day one versus Denver, from the moment they started in Denver?
I can tell you right
now. That game has a little bit more of a different complexion, in my opinion. I don't say we'd win it because I don't want to be that person, but I do think we could be in position to snag it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it for you, Slick. We will win. You know why? Because now it creates opportunities for the receiving core, and it doesn't put so much pressure on the offensive line. If you look at the Bucs offensive line in Denver, they couldn't do anything because Baker knew what was going on, and they knew we didn't have shit to run with. Why do you think anytime when Rachaad White is in, they literally just played man? They didn't have to back up because they knew they're not going to run shit. When Bucky's in there, just look at the difference when Bucky is in there. They have to go, okay, we have to be honest. The Bucs, I don't say the Bucs blow out the Broncos, but the Bucs will win. Do I think they start slow still? Yes, but I think they come back. You said it.
I don't think they start as slow. I think they walk away with a touchdown
right.
More.
Rachaad White's days are numbered. And here's the thing. Nothing's wrong with that because he's had years to prove himself. For someone who loves a running back position, Slick, I've grown impatient. I gave him a last chance, but now it's bigger than him. It's bigger than his ego. And if he can't get it together, then we'll just put in we'll have Tucker in. At this point, this Bucs team is built to be a legit threat. We can't have no Rojo situation bullshits. We can't have Fournette and egos. At this point, you're either you get down or you lay down or you step the fuck off because we're not having it. This team is too fucking good to be wasted off ego. And we've called it. We've been saying this for years, guys, on here. Bucs people, listen. Slick and I has always tried to give Rachaad White his credit. but we're football people. At the end of the day, it's bigger than you. You're costing us. Remember, we thought it was just the line that couldn't get shit done. People chastising and castrated Hainsey forever. But now that we're seeing it with Barton, who keeps getting better and better, we see that, oh shit, he ain't just the line ain't just the problem. It's Rashad. Rashad, we want you to be a Buck, but now be a team player. Be that second down, the second back that comes in and shit. Get those catches going. That's it. That's what he has to do. So the Eagles, it's going to be a hard-fought game too, just because the Eagles are going to come in there with some extra.
Do they play Devin White?
No, I don't think they do.
That's got to be fucking shit.
I think they don't play him.
Can you just imagine? He's penciled this game, right?
Yes.
Before this season started, he penciled. I get to play against the Buccaneers.
Yes.
They didn't play me much in that game when we beat them. I'm going to show my new team. I'm going to beat down my old team, and I'm going to do the thing. And then he has been benched.
Yeah, but
that's two teams that benched him.
Yes, two teams. And also, just because you used to play for us don't mean you know it. Remember when they said Carlton Davis gave us the best breakdown on how to beat the Bucs? I knew that was just some glazing going on, because then Carlton Davis just gets manhandled and abused like a stepchild, like a foster stepchild against Chris Godwin. So it didn't fucking matter. And we know Devin can't cover. If anything, if I'm the Eagles, I wouldn't want him out there, because you said it before, Devin is an ego player. There's going to be
He's going to play really well, or he'll play like shit.
He's going to play like shit, because he's going to be so, like you said, overzealous of, I got to make a play to make a stop, not realizing you didn't read that cover the right way. I could see Devin literally knowing he's supposed to cover, try to blitz Baker, and Baker literally sees Otten or someone, and he just throws that shit over his head, and Devin does this, and it's like a 30-yard gain or a touchdown, and Devin goes, I can see that. I don't think Devin plays. I don't think he's.
I think he'll be in the game, but I think he'll be limited.
Keyword, and that's terrible. That's sad, because then at that point
he went from being considered to be one of the best of his position at one point.
Yes, and now he's a joke. But again, the joke's on him. He did it to himself. So I don't feel bad for him. But remember, either way, this Eagles team is not going to lie down. But let's hope, because they beat the Saints, they might come in with the attitude of, well, we beat them, so now we're on that level. But I truly think that this Bucs team is going to bounce back. If Gedeke stays in, I truly think if Gedeke comes back, which I think he does, and let's say, unfortunately, Vita and Kancey don't, I do think Cohen will say offense, it's going to be our job to be the hero this game. We need to put up points fast. And then we put up some points fast and then drain the clock. We don't want our defense out on the field as long. We don't want them out there that much. So it's our job to save them. That's how I think.
This is a game that if from a defensive standpoint, we're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. We're going to have to reroute the line of scrimmage and create a new one to stop this running back. Because we've beaten Saquon Barkley before. He has got a better line in front of him this time, so that does tend to help.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you can stop him or limit him to he'll get his.
Yes,
but you stop him when you need to stop him, like on a third down. Like, let's say you in a drive, you'll give up you'll give up first down is like 11 yards. Okay, fair enough. Then they'll go to another pass. They'll go for another run. Okay, now he gained 4, so it's second and 6.
Yeah.
I think, okay, we're going to try and pass it now. Pass goes to nothing. Okay, cool. We're going to run it because this is our guy. Third down, ineffective. So in a total triculation of the ball being placed around, he may get like his 100 yards, but he wasn't successful when he needed to be successful, like on crucial third downs and scoring situations.
Yeah, it's like Amon St. Brown. That's another thing. It's a risk and reward. I said this on my TikTok live, Slick. I don't wish this on anybody. You know that. However, we just said running backs all that abuse, that shit can catch up. I'm not wishing that, but that's a risk. If you give him the ball over 20-something times, now you're putting him in a position where the wrong kind of hit can wear him down.
Especially as he plays the slot quite often as well.
Right. And God forbid, let's say if Saquon goes out the second quarter, Eagles are cooked. I'm telling Eagles fans right now, if Saquon goes out, the Eagles are deep fried church Southern Baptist Sunday dinner cooked. It's their ass, because at that point, Jalen plays like dog shit without AJ Brown already. That's why I told people this: if I'm Bowles, blitz, play man, be aggressive, mix it up, of course, but of course, mix it up, Slick. You know me, you got to mix it up, but at early, I'm blitzing the fuck out of you. I'm playing man. I want to see what happens when the heat's on you, because Jalen can only run for so long, because that's why we got our lovely Levante David out there. Levante will be like, okay, run if you want to. I'm going to be right there to hit your ass, and I'm going to fundamentally tackle you and make you and strip you. So overall, I have this Bucs team winning. I'm giving you my prediction right now. I have the Bucs winning right now 27-20. It's going to be it's going to be a good game, but 27-20. Now, if Vita or Canty comes, it'll be 31-20. That's the big difference. If Vita or Canty comes back, it'll be 31-20, because they'll have just enough juice, but preferably Vita. Shit, if it was both, the Bucs is spanking that ass. But that's just me. Do you have a prediction yet, or are you going to wait?
I will go that they will. I'm on the same. I'm thinking now. I'm gonna go 17-24.
17-24.
Go 17-24. I'll go 17-24. But like you said, when if the others come back, it might be 20. It might be 28. Same.
All right. I like it. Well, look, I'll let you go on that one right there, guys. We'll wrap this up. We want to appreciate you all for coming out on the Bucs Report, the Aftermath on 102.9 The Game, Broad Street South Radio. As always, check me out. It's about Bucking Time. I'll be putting up that fire. Check it out. Also on TikTok, I'm live. And go to my Instagram page and check out my merchandise. My motto is turn up in style. But as always, it's good talking to you, Slick. Continue to do your thing, Coach. Guys, remember, we need to put his name out there so he can get there to the Bucs. So, Buck fans, when he comes to Tampa soon, show him some love.
We'll be doing around. We'll be doing around.
Yes, sir. But as always, guys, take care. Go Bucs.
Go Bucs, brother.
Look after. Yes, sir. You too.
Okay, guys, that's the end of the show. Just wanted to shout out Carter Brantley for winning a shit ton of awards as a Buccaneers Best of the Bay writer. Fantastic work that he does. We've had him on screen a few times. He doesn't come on as often. We haven't had him recently and hope to get him soon. But Carter Brantley, congrats to you, brother. Well deserved. Always go check him out. He's on all the Bucs Report reading material that you can get out there. Check his columns out. He's fantastic. But your Buccaneers lost one last week, and it wasn't nice. I was fuming. But it is what it is. I'm hoping this is an outside influence that's positive, because then the Buccaneers will go, okay, we can be beaten. When we're not on an NRA game, we'll be beaten. Now we know what we're going to do to make sure that we win. A game every time. Never let up. No resist. No. Nothing but domination. Relentless every second of the way. That's what this Buccaneer team needs to do. That's all I demand. I love them. I respect them. They just got to do that job. But this week, they go up against the Philadelphia Eagles, a team that no Buccaneers fans have any real love for. We hopefully want to put that team and bury the dirt on them. And then we can start looking at this Falcons game that's coming up that's really big, where we've got only a short turnaround. My most I hope we walk away from this is the win with no new injuries. Clean bill of health for some of the others coming back. That's it from me, guys. I'm a bit bummed up, a bit worn out. Got a bit of a cold coming, but we'll keep trucking. But on further review, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3. Go Bucs!